In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my past history here in this town, Brevard, North Carolina, where I grew up and went to school, and some stuff that took place in 2011 that has ruined a great part of my life. In the year 2011, some rookie Brevard police officers broke into the apartment of my relative, and they broke into her apartment and started abusing her, I basically came out there and was asking them how many of them does it take to beat up an old disabled old lady. And then they turned their anger and aggression on me. I was pepper sprayed numerous times, pepper sprayed up my nose and my eyes, and cans of cans were emptied on me for nothing, for no reason. They didn't have a warrant. They were asked to give a warrant. They said they didn't need a warrant, and when I started talking about my rights and that I was a citizen, they said that I didn't have any rights. I was hogtied. I was tortured. I was suspended from ankle and leg shackles behind my back, and suspended and hanging from my ankles and from my wrists, and it was excruciating torture. And it's not okay, and it never will be. Now, they made accusations against me. They false accusations. They lied. They said that that I was one of the biggest drug dealers in North Carolina. They said that I had an operating meth lab in the apartment. That was all false. Big lie. There was no meth lab, and I'm not a drug dealer. They said that I was part of gangs. I was questioned, detained illegally against my will, and tortured, at the sheriff's department in Brevard, North Carolina. And while I was being tortured, I was questioned by the sheriff, Mahoney, and who kept asking me about all my identities and aliases, and about my involvement with certain gangs I'm going to mention. They tried to get me to admit to being a member of the Aryan Nation gang. I stated to them that I was not a member of Aryan Nation. I was not a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, and I'm not a silent partner of the Aryan Brotherhood. I'm not a member of the folk gang of its many different it has different gangs in different territories. I'm not a member of the folks. I was never a member of folks. And when you see me holding up this sign, on my Facebook account in the past, all this means to me is peace to me. This ain't no gang sign. You understand? It means I'm trying to have peace. I want peace. You understand? Me. Because that's why I turned it around backwards. This is a peace sign. This sign right here didn't mean nothing else except I want peace. Give me some peace, because y'all been messing with me too long. They tried to get me to admit and to confess about gang involvement while I was being tortured, and I wouldn't. I'm not a member of any gang and don't have any, membership. I'm not a silent partner of the gangs I spoke about before. I never was a member of them. I'm not part of Crips, Bloods, Folk, Nation. I'm not part of, Devil's Disciples. I'm not part of any of the gangs that exist out there as far as the gang nations exist today. I'm just an individual. Spend most of my time studying shamanism because I'm a shaman. And, I'm not any religion. They tried to get me to confess to being part of different gangs, and they're in their hysteria. They wanted to know if I was part of the Muslim Brotherhood, and supposedly, how could I be part of all these gangs, is what I was asking. You know, how can I be a part in any of it? You know, it just it doesn't make any sense. You know, and so they tried to create the fear in the mind of my town and the public to you know, look at me in a certain way, and it backfired on them. They had to admit later in the Transylvania County newspaper that I didn't have a meth lab. There was no meth lab found. So I'm not a drug dealer, and I'm not a gang member. You know, and people, you know, people have free will and free rights in this country. If somebody wants to be a part of a gang, they can be part of one. If I want to tomorrow, I could go out and join all those gangs if I want to, you know, but I'm not in a gang, and I don't have any plans. I don't have any plans to be in a gang. This is my, you know, setting it straight video for anybody who looks at this. I'm disappointed in Sheriff Mahoney. I'm disappointed in Batric, you know, whatever his Barton. You know, he was an investigator for the Brevard Police Department, and he was way out of line. My rights were being violated, and my rights continue to be violated, you know, by Caporium and a group that they have in Brevard there that's illegally tapping my cell phone and you know, interfering in my personal business. People that I call are, you know, been harassed and been approached by certain investigators that tell them that I'm dangerous, and therefore it's hard for me to have friends now, and it's not all right, and it won't be all right. I want you to stop bothering me. You're violating people's rights right there in Caporium. You know, they're guilty of violating constitutional rights, tapping phones, lying, telling lies, monitoring people. Here's my cell phone right here. You understand? I don't have anything to hide. My phone number's 1-828-553-7309. This is my cell phone right here. You see this? And it's hard for me to contact anybody and call people without them, you know, bothering my situation even after all this time. They're the criminals, not me. You understand? I'm not the, you know, it'd be impossible for a person to be as bad as they say I am. And, you know, I don't even have a felony record. They accused me of assaulting, you know, government officials, of using martial arts on government officials. They couldn't prove it, and the reason they couldn't prove it was because it wasn't true. I didn't do any of the things that they said I did. I didn't kick any officers. I didn't throw any officers into the fire. Those officers came into that apartment building and they shot police tasers, police gun tasers with the electrodes that fire the wires out. They shot 5 or 6 of those things at disabled, mentally retarded, handicapped people, and they shot them around cookout supplies, like, you know, charcoal lighter fluid. We were getting ready to have a cookout, and they shot that stuff and caused a fire. That's what happened. And they came up with stories about, you know, young women throwing cotton balls and all this nonsense, trying to fool the public in a similar way to how they're doing right now in Baltimore, Maryland, where they're trying to, you know, throw off, you know, the public and saying, you know, it's a gang problem. You know, it's problems with these people. And the problem's right there with the bad apples inside the, you know, the police and the sheriff's departments across the country, where the police that are upholding the Constitution aren't standing up against their fellow officers who are breaking the law. And it's time for you guys to stand up and do something about it, you know. And if you don't stand up and do something about it, all it's going to do is cost our country billions of dollars. And it's a direct threat to public security what these rogue police officers that are breaking protocol, lying, and doing evil against the American citizens and against the Constitution. They're guilty of this, and they should be stopped, fired, and start over from scratch if you have to. This is what I had to say today. And I'm not doing this for publicity. This is my honest message to whoever looks at this. You understand? And it doesn't get any realer than that. I'll be back with some more stuff in the future about this. Until then, I'll see you later.